Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
JAMPRO aims to increase the export of non-traditional products and, of course, support the development of Jamaican MSMEs. To that end, they've partnered with the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association and the Jamaica Business Development Corporation to launch the third installment of Export Max. I'm Theodore Henry for Business Access TV. Stay with us.
It is good to be here, and it's a pleasure joining you for the launch of the third iteration of this program. This morning's event is a fitting tribute to the industry players and signals a great promise for the micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises and the importance that has been placed on export diversification. This launch seeks to build on the success of Exports Max 1 and 2, which together recorded over $2.2 billion in sales. Indeed, its previous success sets the stage for the implementation of this third iteration, which we are now undertaking on a much larger scale. Let me take this opportunity to commend the JAMPRO on conceptualizing and taking us this far with this program. And let's welcome our new Export Max partners, the Jamaica Business Development Corporation and the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association. With their strengths, we'll be joining forces to improve and efficiently manage and implement the program. And I'd like to thank our sponsors and future participants. You have signed up for a game-changing program that will have national impact. Jamaica has strong export potential and growing export capacity. The imperative for achieving greater export performance and thus realizing export-led growth and global competitiveness in our exports as part of the export strategy is therefore of extreme importance as we strive for national prosperity and wealth creation. In the globalized economy, it is critical that Jamaica becomes highly organized in order to be fully integrated into the world economy in a manner that allows us to elevate our position on the global value chain and supply chains. Jamaica has been standing still for too long. Standing still while our trading partners have been taking steps to implement best practices for business and trade-friendly environments. This ministry, therefore, through its agencies, is seeking to attain greater diversification in the export industry by achieving higher value addition in priority tech sectors, increasing the value of non-traditional export of goods through increased volume and higher value addition, increasing the contribution of services exports as a percentage of our overall exports, including our creative industries, and increasing penetration in existing markets and accessing new and emerging markets. Let me add to that the specifics, some specifics which I want you to implant in your minds. There are three distinct underdeveloped markets. Let me just mention what those three are. The tourism industry. Too much of the fresh and processed foods that they consume are coming in on the planes with the tourists. And we have the capacity to supply them. Second, CARICOM. 16 countries in CARICOM. All of them are net importers of food, fresh and processed. Yet, we export precious little to CARICOM, and we have the privilege of exporting it duty-free. And what's the third significant market? The Jamaican diaspora. In Canada, the United States, and England, the market is as big as Jamaica. Somebody from London told me recently that because they cannot get what they want in Jamaica, they import the stuff from Africa and slap a Jamaican label on it. Castor oil, by the way. a lot of castor oil that is now being sold internationally with the Jamaica label on it. The raw material is not from Jamaica. Unacceptable. So as government, we are committed to promoting brand Jamaica to the world, identifying new trade and investment opportunities in order to spur economic growth. My ministry will continue to work with critical stakeholders to enable them to capitalize on opportunities in the export market, as more than ever, greater focus must be placed on growing our economy through exports. One of the things that the ministry is committed to doing is changing the soft infrastructure that will support the growth of trading across borders. To this end, a few weeks ago, we launched a trade facilitation portal that will house the information about all the various processes that underpin trading across our borders. It is our vision that the trade information portal will be the central source of information that will ensure that if someone is an exporter, or even if they are dreaming about being an exporter, they need only to visit this one place that will provide them with all the knowledge they need to navigate the trading process. On the heels of this, we are also excited about the progress that we are making in implementing a single trade electronic window for the government, which will see all the various government processes integrated into a single online system that will allow for all trade-related transactions to be done online, supported by a robust risk management system to protect the country's borders and its reputation overseas. And so Export Max is only one more prong in the government's network of activities that will allow for the framework for each and every exporter to experience success, and ultimately for us to achieve economic growth and prosperity in Jamaica.
Taking the pain out of the audit preparation. Doggin Global now offers audit management services, AMS. With AMS, Doggin Global team manages your external audit process by providing the following. 1. Prepare and review schedules for your external auditors. 2. Prepare responses to your external audit team queries. 3. Assign our team members to locate supporting documents during field work. 4. Draft financial statements in accordance with IFRS to supply to your external auditors. 5. Provide guidance to your internal accounting staff regarding classification and recording of transactions. 6. Review your general ledger for accuracy. 7. Prepare necessary journal entries. 8. Prepare fixed asset register. 9. Prepare accounting and operational manual for effective internal control. 10. Liaise with the company external auditors. We work with your team to achieve timely and effective external audits, resulting in timely completion of your audited financial statement, while your current staff focuses on their daily activities. Contact us, info@doggin.global, website doggin.global.
So, welcome. So let me start out by asking Dan, Export Max, I know Export Max started within JAMPRO. Why Export Max 3 and what makes it different this time around?
Okay, thanks Claude, and good morning ladies and gentlemen. We are so excited to be here at the launch of Export Max 3. Why are we doing Export Max 3? It's actually one of the programs that I'm proudest of in my time at JAMPRO. I think that, as the Minister said, export is one of our critical pieces, is critical in our lifeblood. It's in our DNA. We have to export. We're a small island nation. We have tremendous products. We need to take them to the world in a more organized, systematic way where we respect standards, we understand the adaptability of our products to market demands. where we understand the markets that we are trying to penetrate. Export Max is that program. The results that we got out of Export Max 1 and 2 show what a deliberate program can do, where you start by diagnosing what does the product need to be adapted to market demand, what evolution needs to go on in the company itself. So it's not just the product, but it's also the management that must have the right mindset to penetrate international markets. So we're identifying that demand, identifying the market trends, helping the companies to adapt their products, and that mentorship, which we brought on in Export Max 2, is a critical component, because the ones who are successful must help the ones who have not started yet or who have not yet been successful. So that was the innovation of Export Max 2. And what we decided in Export Max 3 is that to more than double the number of companies in the program, we really couldn't do it alone anymore, because Export Max is a really labor-intensive and brain-intensive project. It needs a lot of time spent hand-holding companies, explaining export to them, helping their management to be ready. So we really needed the help of our partners, and we're really, really proud and excited and energized that we have two such fantastic partners, as well as the other sponsors who have come on board, because we need more expertise, we need more hands on deck. Export is not easy. Standards in the international market are constantly becoming more critical, more difficult. So we needed partners on board who could help us to interpret some of the issues on the international market, some of the standards, the Bureau of Standards is on board, and also to help galvanize those exporters to greater effort and to greater understanding. And then we needed the business development side that JBDC can bring to really help companies to develop their business plans, develop their loan applications, to become more formalized, develop their bookkeeping acumen. We think this is one of the most important programs that JAMPRO and the country have ever created, because we think that this is an integrated way of taking our MSMEs the next step forward. We are very excited, and we just want to have more participation from the MSME community, because sometimes you don't know what you don't know, and it's when you start on that journey of trying to understand how do I get from point A to point B that you start to realize what it is you don't know and how and where you can find help. So really this is a plea to and a stimulus and an encouragement and almost a demand of the SME sector listening to us today. You need to get on board, because this program can change your life professionally and change your export horizon.
Okay. Valerie, you decided without hesitation, why did you see training and capacity building as such important components for exporters?
Our logo speaks for what we do, which is business development in the fulsomeness of it, and how can we help you. So we know for sure that capacity building is even beyond that thing called training. It's really getting into the nitty-gritty of the companies, the enterprises, looking at the concept, if it makes sense, whether local or external market, putting the proper structures in place, and as Dan says, formalizing the business. It means governance have to be in place. You have to know your numbers to know what stories are coming out. Worse, if you're thinking of exporting, you have to be really secure in moving forward. So we have been spending a lot of time with our client group preparing them for the market, because for us, global market is right here in Jamaica. So standards must be in place. Governance must be in place. And you must be thinking business. And I agree with Dan, we have to get over that hump of doing a little thing until some big job comes along, because it's not going to come along. So it means that we have to be innovative and we have to be on target for moving forward. We're going to be looking, as we said, as we had agreed, at all the innovative industries that have the possibilities for export. So food, niche markets, high quality, value added products, non-food, services, certainly the technology-based industries and the creative industries in all aspects have to be part of that big umbrella. Our
Right.
mandate is to help them.
Right.
So even if they come
Right.
and they're not ready for Export Max,
Right.
it doesn't mean that they can't be in the passageway.
Okay.
So they need not hesitate. They
Right.
need to come forward.
Right.
If they're not in that lane,
Right.
it means you're going to prepare them for
Okay.
whatever is appropriate. So
Right.
there is no reason to sit and wonder if.
Okay.
You need to come forward and let us work together and see which lane you are really in.
Right.
And if you happen to move into this fast track, no, that's wonderful. If not, you're on the way to preparation.
So that's-
Because we must export. Dan keeps saying export or that. I think we have been in coma because we're waiting to die.
When we look at the program or we look at life, we always like to say nobody born big. We all are a product of training, exposure, and experience. And you almost need all three in the right combination to be successful. So in the area of mentorship and advocacy, I think JMEA coming on board, which will have a portfolio of businesses that are already exporting, play a very important role. So I'd love to hear from you, Metri. Tell us in plain terms, how do you see the JMA supporting this effort and your decision to come on board?
Well, when I heard Diane and Valerie speak, I realized that what we have here is a perfect marriage.
Okay.
2 women and 1 man. No, I'm joking. No, seriously, what we have is a perfect marriage here.
Right.
Because what we have is the JMEA that has the base of membership. Our membership base is about 400 companies, most of which and many of which are small to medium-sized companies, which is the base that we need. Then we have Valerie, who is going to do the business development process, and then Jumper that's going to deal with the export market.
Right.
What we bring to the table is a lot of hand-holding. We are about solving problems and solving issues. Right. So they're going to have issues. There's no question about it. Right. I think one of the ways we could say it is that we're a big brother to the companies, and we hold their hands and we walk with them through the process. Right. We just go, Valerie will take them to a particular stage, and then we will take them from there until we're ready to hand them off to Jampro to really go and do the export. But I wanted to say that the JMEA is fully committed to this program. That's why we have joined. We recognize how important it is. And as Diane said, it is probably one of the most important initiatives that any agency in Jamaica has put in place. The numbers speak for themselves, right. And we hope to be a part of this process going forward for a long time to come.
How does one apply for the program? Could you give some thoughts on that?
Thank you. I was hoping you'd ask that question. We have a kiosk at the back. We have several JAMPRO members of our team here. We have an expression of interest form, which you can get from our team at the back. Copies of the form are also available from the various agencies and on our website. www.dobusinessjamaica.com. You can download this expression of interest form and send it in, and we will be happy to contact you and start the journey with you, because this is a journey. It's a 3-year program. This is really about helping you through a process and on a journey to success. Tell your associates, people you know who have a product or who even have an idea. They can start talking to JBDC from the idea stage. So let's create a movement that can change export.
Thank you, Dan. So I'll throw it out. Any final thoughts?
This is an example, the collaboration, the example of how we in Jamaica should work together. Right. Because no one institution or person has all the skills, all the information. Right. And until we start putting the ego behind the door and working together, we're not going to move. So I'm celebrating from JBDC the kind of collaboration that we have agreed to have between our agencies. I think it's a good move, and we know success is down the lane.
Betray, any final
In
thoughts?
closing, I would ask everybody in this room, when you leave here today, call 5 persons that you know that are in business. Let us be oversubscribed.
Yes.
Let us have that problem. Let us reach back out to our sponsors and tell them that we need more from them, because this is good for Jamaica.
Thank you, Metri.
We have some Export Max graduates in the audience, and I think it's important not only to hear from us, but to hear from people who are actually on the program. So dare I say that Rita Hilton is on the
Yeah, they're going to be on the program. Yeah,
Okay. So Rita, Omar, I think you're all going to talk later on. So.
All right, a round of applause for the head of agencies. Thank you very much.
Creating change. Building a future. Caring hands. Giving back. Touching hearts and shaping lives. Impacting our world for the better.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
I'm going to invite some past Export Max participants to speak. Rita Hilton from Carita, Jamaica, and Omar Azan, CEO of Boss Furniture. So in the spirit of ladies first, I'm going to ask Rita Hilton to come and just give a couple of remarks about her experience with Export Max.
I think this is a great opportunity. Having benefited from Export Max 2, I'd like to highlight some of the things that made it so important for me and what the results have been like. It was important for me because it allowed me to step into the Caribbean export market. Carita has been in business for 34 years, and our whole business is aligned with exports. We were primarily involved in fresh produce exports, but recently we've been adding value to Jamaican products and trying to build up that component of bringing more value to Jamaica. Now, with Export Max 2, what did I benefit from? Going into the Caribbean market, which I didn't know at all, and I have to tell you that out of that, we have one concrete market which we opened in the Bahamas. And that partner has been so impressed with our output that they have come with a proposal to invest in our company and buy equity into our company. I learned that I wasn't really completely prepared to take advantage of all the opportunities. So if you're going into Export Max 3, come with an open mind. You think you know it, you don't know it. Learn, absorb, and execute. You need to have a partner on the ground in the territory that you're going to be working with that will teach you about that market and the market needs. It's not Jamaica, and it is not the globe. It is a very special type of market, and each market has its own needs. So keep an open mind, learn from the opportunities. What was wonderful is the amount of work that Jampro put in before we went into the markets. And that was the critical success of the Export Max 2. Into every territory that we went, there were buyers available, and it wasn't the underlings that came to the market opportunities. They were high level personnel that came to talk business and to do business. The other thing that I learned so much from is the capacity building. You think you know how to run a business? Well, you don't, because the way you start is not the way you grow and keep on growing. You see all this white hair? That comes from years and years of learning. I started as a high school teacher, and our exports have reached close to 3 million US. And those are sales. That is not money to spend. That's money that you invest back in your business after you've paid the expenses. So don't think that you've achieved success and can drive a Mercedes-Benz. I still drive a pickup, okay?
I'll just say that for me, for my company, it's been an amazing experience. The team has been behind. There are times when I wasn't even up to doing some of the things, and they came and sat in my office and said, Omar, listen, we need you to get this thing done. And they would push me to do it. Today, I'll say historical. This is our first time in history that our company has receivables. Today, I checked it this morning, from 14 different countries owing me money at the end of this month to pay me, to pay my suppliers, where I think at the end of this month, I can probably pay all the suppliers I owe from just a foreign exchange earning. So that is a huge, huge, huge difference than where I was a few years ago. This is an excellent thing that JAMPRO is doing. I'll say it. You know me, I talk the truth every time I come up on the podium to speak. And, you know, we need to just get everybody behind this. Our Jamaican people, our staff in our factories, we need to push our exports to get this country going. Thank you.
I am inspired and excited this morning. And I want, on behalf of the entire team, JAMPRO, JMEA, JBDC, I just want to say thank you all for coming out and hearing this program and participating in this launch. So we're going to take you into the Caribbean, Europe, and the USA to sell your goods and services and to return with those all-important contracts and to deliver on the promise that you would have made to be a champion exporter. I expect this program will be a positive, life-changing experience for you and your businesses. So where do we go from here? The steps are very easy. We are inviting all business owners here to complete the registration expression of interest form. Following the expression of interest, you'll be required to complete a more in-depth application form. The deadline for submission will be January 30, 2019. Final selection of participants will be done by March 15, 2019. And by April, MOUs with all the participants will be signed, and that's when the real work begins. But it will be exciting, it will be fun.
This has been the launch of Export Max 3, and I've been your host, Theodore Henry. Keep watching Business Access TV. Serious about business.
Do you want to build your company's capacity or export your products or services to new global markets? Then you can be a part of Export Max 3, an enterprise development program for Jamaican companies. Sign up today. Applications close January 31, 2019. Expand your business for export growth. Visit dobusinessjamaica.com for details. Export Max 3. Grow beyond borders. It's brought to you by JAMPRO, JMEA, and JBDC.
The Good Life, your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
If we all work together to be a peaceful society, Jamaica can and will achieve the 4 goals under Vision 2030, especially number 2, a society that is secure, cohesive, and just. It's National Peace Day, being observed under the theme, Peace is the Way for a Better Day. And I hope you were an active participant today. Hello and welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. On the show, we talk more about Peace Day, break down the figures to be spent by the Ministry of National Security in the next financial year, and keep you up to date on the Houses of Parliament and Government Campus Project. Stay with us.
Let's get a little breeze on this land. All right. Now let's get some bounce in the rhythm. All right. Let's get some fire on our hearts. Now that is what we call all right. Run, come, get some Jamaica.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, March 5. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is reassuring the public that there are currently no confirmed cases of the new coronavirus, COVID-19, in Jamaica. An assurance was also given that should the virus reach our shores, the public will be immediately notified. Amidst reports that COVID-19 was detected on the island, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton cautioned against the spread of incorrect information about the virus. He instead urged the public to access credible updates and information from the Ministry of Health's website. In the meantime, the Airports Authority of Jamaica, AAJ, has implemented a raft of preventative and proactive measures to protect its stakeholders from COVID-19. In addition to the travel restrictions imposed on some countries, the AAJ has been screening passengers with heat-sensing scanners. Personal sanitation and protective equipment has been purchased, quarantine stations have been created, and the airport's emergency response teams have been bolstered. The AAJ has also ramped up its sensitization campaign. And Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith says government continues to provide support to Jamaican nationals currently in China. Speaking specifically to Jamaican students pursuing studies in the Asian country where the COVID-19 outbreak began, Minister Johnson-Smith says contact has been maintained with the students. Mrs. Johnson-Smith says the needs of the students are being met through communication with the Jamaican Embassy in China, parents of students, as well as chat groups created by the Jamaican Association in China.
It has been a challenging set of circumstances to deal with, logistically challenging. And of course, you understand that there's a level of anxiety that you have to anticipate with persons being so far away from home. So there's even been movement to support persons emotionally as well through those means. So yes, we have students there, students from UWI, students who are there privately, and students who are on government scholarships, but they are all being engaged with as best as possible, and their needs met also.
The Foreign Affairs Minister was addressing Tuesday's Public Administration and Appropriations Committee meeting of Parliament. In other news, the Jamaica Constabulary Forces Supplies Requisition System, dubbed iRequest, will be piloted this month. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang made the announcement at a diplomatic corps function on Tuesday. iRequest is an electronic management system aimed at monitoring and maintaining the police force's infrastructure while streamlining the requisition process. Minister Chang says the system's software was completed recently and a corporate area police station will be selected to test the system.
We have established a technology branch within the police force, commanded by an Assistant Commissioner of Police, to ensure the police not only have the equipment, but that they have a team to manage, to maintain, and to optimize its use at all times.
A draft of the National Diaspora Policy, NDP, has been approved by Cabinet as a green paper for presentation to Parliament shortly. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, says the policy provides an institutional framework and a roadmap for cohesive engagement and partnership with the Jamaican diaspora worldwide.
The policy, aligned to Vision 2030, as well as the UN SDGs, envisions that by 2030 there will be transformative empowerment of the Jamaican diaspora to realize their fullest potential in their countries of residence, while optimizing their contributions to national development.
Minister Johnson-Smith was addressing members of the Diplomatic Corps on Tuesday as part of activities for Diplomatic Week 2020. The week is being observed under the theme, Delivering a Decade of Resilience for All. And finally, the Electoral Commission of Jamaica has completed its final count of ballots in the recently held by-elections for the Clarendon Southeastern constituency. In a release Thursday, the Electoral Commission says the final count of ballots was concluded on Wednesday. It showed that with voter turnout at 18.6%, candidate Pernell Charles Jr. received 89% of the votes, while his opponent, Derek Lambert, secured 10% of the votes. The Director of Elections will now receive a report into the final count. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
Domestic violence and abuse has always been going on. Say to victims, report the matter, seek help, go to your local police. There are persons who are trained in the various divisions to deal with domestic violence and domestic abuse. We have two centers that are currently operational. One is at the Matilda's Corner Police Station. You can call the Matilda's Corner Police Station for that. The other one is at Air 5 Headquarters. That's on the same compound as Constant Spring Police Station. The number is 702-5120 or 702-5121. Co-workers, neighbors, family members, don't sit silently and say, oh, I knew they were having difficulties, but I didn't know the extent. No. Seek help on their behalf and tell your victim or your friend who is the victim, say to them, listen, I want to help you and I'm going to help you, but I have to seek help outside of me.
The Ministry of National Security has a capital budget of $15.9 billion to continue its capacity building projects in the upcoming financial year. We break down the figure and outline the different projects for you.
More vehicles, more technology, more infrastructure and social development. These are key areas of undertakings that will continue into the 2020-2021 fiscal year by the Ministry of National Security. With a budget of $93.9 billion, the ministry will use $78 billion allocated to the current estimates to take care of administrative expenses. The remaining $15.9 billion will be used to carry out major projects. Let's take a closer look at some of the major projects. First is the Security Strengthening Project with a purse of $400 million. Of that amount, $273 will be used to purchase and install equipment. These include management systems for case, jail, and station records. Equipment will also be purchased for the Firearm Licensing Authority, interconnection between agencies, as well as connectivity and surveillance at the Jamaica Constabulary Force and the Department of Correctional Services. The overall objective of the project is to build capacity to increase the conviction rate for murders.
This government is committed to improving not the working conditions of the police force and to providing the police with adequate resources to fight the criminal network.
The project is being funded by the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, and will end in March 2023. Moving on to the Citizen Security and Justice Program, CSJP-3. $235 million has been assigned to develop community asset maps, complete renovation on the Gale Multipurpose Center, and provide remedial education and vocational skills training. It will also evaluate the parenting and skill vocational program and conduct a victimization survey. The program is geared at improving governance and behavioral changes in targeted communities through conflict resolution, social inclusion, and increased employment opportunities for residents. The capacity of the Department of Correctional Services will be bolstered with the acquisition of vehicles and infrastructure development. For the 2020-2021 period, the National Security Ministry will continue delivery of the assorted vehicles. With $393 million, the ministry will also construct and renovate buildings at correctional centers and erect security fencing and cameras. As for the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF, the ministry intends to start construction of the forensic pathology suite, complete renovation of 40 police stations, and conclude pre-investment activities for 2 police divisional headquarters and the police headquarters. This will be carried out at a cost of $2.3 billion.
There's value in starting with the police building because we understand that to create public safety is maybe the most important thing in settling a community and reassuring the population that they should live where they are, invest where they are, and in fact help to grow the country.
Still on the JCF, $1.2 billion will go towards the purchase and installation of CCTV cameras and servers, as well as upgrade to the radio communication network and dispatch systems. The cybersecurity capability of the JCF will also be strengthened with new software and training at a cost of $930 million. More vehicles and bikes are being purchased to increase the mobility of the force.
This government took the position to make significant investment in the security services.
The Jamaica Defense Force JDF will receive similar capacity building from a capital A budget of $9 billion. Of that amount, $5.8 billion will be used to complete the procurement of aircrafts and equipment for securing Jamaica's borders. Other purchases include assorted military vehicles, cybersecurity software, and telecommunications equipment. The Ministry of National Security is using the remaining $1.5 billion to complete office space and barracks, as well as to construct simulation and training centers and a military dog facility.
There is significant investment being made in this great institution of the Jamaica Defense Force. We are spending the time, resources, and effort to upgrade your infrastructure, your tools and equipment, your ability to deliver even more.
The Ministry of National Security, building capacity to maintain law and order, rehabilitate offenders, and enable social development while protecting our borders and cyber networks against internal and external threats.
Besides doing all of those social intervention issues, we have to ensure we have a police force that is organized and resourced and outfitted to deal with all aspects of criminal activity.
Jamaica Eye is part of an island-wide network of camera surveillance systems designed to increase the safety of you, our citizens. If you have a camera system outside your home or office facing a public space, join us in helping to make Jamaica a safer place for all. Log on to jamaicaeye.gov.jm today. Jamaica Eye, we're all connected. The Ministry of National Security, creating a safer and prosperous Jamaica.
Up next, the Urban Development Corporation gives an update on the Houses of Parliament and Government Campus project.
It started with a vision.
Discussions about a new parliament building have been on the table for over 50 years. But this is the farthest we have pushed the needle in 50 years.
And on May 17, 2018, that vision was transformed into action with the launch of the Houses of Parliament Design Competition. Approximately 24 entries were received from 178 persons.
I'm so impressed by everything that's been done thus far in the competition.
After much deliberation, it was time for the announcement.
At moments like these, we are all out of many one people.
Out of many one people emerged the winning design for the new Parliament building to be built in the National Heroes Park, eventually replacing Gordon House as the country's meeting place for the House of Representatives and the Senate. Since the announcement, the architects have been carrying out several engagements. These include a series of programming workshops with various stakeholders, verification meetings to further confirm the project space requirements, and schematic design presentations, which was used to solicit feedback for the next stage of design development. Following that, another set of workshops were held to share updated details to move the project into the next phase of construction drawings and documentation.
We're far in the detailing of that design, and that has been going on with key stakeholders such as the master planners for the larger area, the feasibility assessment professionals for the larger project, our municipality, of course, always our partners in development, the security forces, and of course, the users of the House, including the parliamentarians and the parliamentary staff.
Residents and businesses in the nearby communities also participated in the information sharing at the National Heroes Park. Chairman of the Greater Allman Town Community Development Committee was appreciative of the consultative approach by the UDC.
It's a great feeling as a resident and a worker in Allman Town. We look forward to the development. It sounds awesome, and we just look forward to a broader partnership.
To date, the architects are on schedule, within budget, and are scheduled to complete the construction drawings and documentation by June 2020. Christopher Bent shares the work being done by Design Collaborative.
The project has extended into not just HOP building, but also the entire park, 52-acre park. And what we've been doing over the last several months is engaging stakeholders in trying to understand what the requirements are for not just the House of Parliament, but also the park.
Subject to approvals and procurement timelines, construction is scheduled to commence in the first quarter of 2021, with a 24-month timeline ending in the third quarter of 2023.
So we've seen early sketches, especially as they relate to the park and as it relates to the urban context and how that gets stitched into the neighborhood. So we've been, working a lot to help understand how that is achieved, and I think the architects are doing that.
The UDC is leading the planning and construction of the new Parliament building, which is a component of the master plan to redevelop downtown Kingston. It also includes the development of a government campus on the outer bands of the Heroes Park. The corporation, in keeping with its commitment to developing green spaces into urban development, has incorporated the GOJ's 3 Million Tree Initiative as part of the plans for the park. The first 100 trees will be planted throughout 2020.
The National Heroes Park will see the planting of a total of over 1,000 trees, contributing not only to this initiative, but also to the development and creation of more green spaces in Jamaica.
If we do not make these decisions, then Jamaica, as it exists now, the beauty of it, the sustainability of it, will not exist for a future generation. So it's not just an option, it's actually an imperative to protect the environment.
The Urban Development Corporation, making development happen sustainably. To learn more about the work of the Urban Development Corporation, call 656-8031 or visit their website at udcja.com. You may also follow them on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, or visit their information center on the ground floor, Kingston Mall, downtown Kingston.
More life.
More memories.
More moments. Jamaica Moves is a call to action to prevent non-communicable diseases. Get active, eat healthy. You can protect yourself from high blood pressure, obesity, asthma, certain cancer diseases, and more.
Today, March 5, is National Peace Day, being observed under the theme Peace is the Way for a Better Day. The day was launched in 1996 by Peace and Love in Society pals, with the aim to create awareness among schools and the public of the need for peace. And so each year, students participate in a special assembly through poetry, song, dance, music, and drama. They also carry out exhibitions and street marches to encourage the need for a peaceful society. Street marches are also carried out in several communities in partnership with the Violence Prevention Alliance and the Peace Management Initiative PMI. Persons supporting the initiative are asked to wear blue, while motorists are encouraged to fly a blue ribbon from their vehicles and to keep their headlights on. Let's keep the theme for Peace Day 2020 active throughout the year. Peace is the way for a better day. Let's hear now from the man or woman on the street on how we can contribute to a more peaceful society.
What we need more is love, really. We need more love, and we need to talk up. You see, the community them, where the criminal them there, we need to talk up. We need to stop hide the criminal them, and that will help the system.
We have to try and live more loving with each other. That's all I can say.
Well, we can just create certain avenues where youngsters can vent, because there's a lot of stuff that they keep pent up. So create like more facilities for counselors and all them, so them can vent and start a conversation.
If something happens, just go to the police instead of taking it into your own hands.
I basically think that we should educate the youth them. I mean educate them, not just academic education, but them if you have a knowing of self. Because when you have a knowing of self, then you're going to stop all these other craziness, because you're going to know where you're really worth. And when you know where you're really worth, yeah man, all the idleness are going to stop.
Sensitizing youth is always a good place to start, because if the children are properly educated as to how to resolve conflict and deal with situations that might be difficult or frustrating, then they can truly be better able to handle or resolve an issue without taking violent measures or an unpeaceful approach.
You can speak up. Like if you do the children them anything, them can just speak up and stuff like that. Don't hide stuff, and if you don't know the guy them that kidnap kids or them some there are molesting kids, them can like them talk, go to the police, children. The parents them must not hide it, because sometimes the parents them is afraid.
Stop the killing and live good with one another.
Just tell the young youth them let go the gun thing.
You see, if everybody come together, back then them used to say the village grow the children, So I think Jamaica should, use some of those methods that they used back then in the past, and I think if they do that, Jamaica will be a better place.
Almighty God, creator and sustainer of life, we are humbled by your acts of kindness to us over the years. You have journeyed with us through the bitter years of slavery and have brought us the gift of our emancipation.
We thank you for those who, with determination, have led the way to our freedom.
We celebrate another act of your goodness.
We have matured. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. We give you jubilant praise and thanks, oh God.
Gracious God, despite our shortcomings, we have much for which to give you thanks. You have been faithful to us in good times and in challenging times. We pause to give you thanks for all your expressions of love, O God. We celebrate and give thanks for the harmony that exists among us.
Truly, we
are living witnesses of what it means to be, out of many, one people.
We give you thanks for the infrastructural developments that have taken place over the years. We celebrate and give you thanks, O God, for the giftedness of our people, their kindness and creativity, their indomitable spirit that have resulted in excellence in all areas here at home and within the diaspora.
Oh God, we truly love our country, and we thank you for making us a special people admired by the world.
We thank you for all the men and women and young people and children who continue to play their part to make their mark towards our ongoing development. Almighty God, as we move forward, we place Jamaica land we love into your care. Watch over us, enlarge our territory, allow the reign of your peace and justice among us. Establish your kingdom among us and help us to realize our full potential. We ask this in your high and exalted name. Amen.
The ECJ will be renewing all voter ID cards. Visit any EOJ constituency office or voter ID card renewal center if your card has an issue date of 2015 or before. Cards with issue dates 2016 or later will automatically be reprinted. The ECJ will notify cardholders when cards are ready. Current ID cards will be valid until December 2020. For more information, contact the ECJ.
This is where our journey ends, but only for today. Join us again tomorrow when we bring you another informative program. In the meantime, stay connected via our website, jis.gov.jm. And while you're online, send your feedback to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm or via tweet at JIS News. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
We have grown from 20 million US to now having 800 million US dollars.
Knowledge, skill, and professionalism. Those are my tools and my armor.
It's a big men don't cry, right? It's a big men don't cry, right?
We were being robbed some $531,000.
I've been angry to the point where I feel like I would get it.
Sundays at 4:30 p.m. It's all about Home Sweet Home. Get your half-hour dose of the business of real estate, from laws and concepts to reality, building, buying, or renting. Or what about trends in decor or renovations? Home Sweet Home will keep you up to date.
You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
I'd just like to welcome everybody today, and I'm sure that you'll agree that this is a perfect way to start the new year. Opening this impressive building where we now have two extraordinary companies located. Concentrix, our anchor client, and one of the largest BPO operators, and the other tenant is Jamaica's own Unique Vacations, and they're doing all the customer service and reservations for the Sandals resorts that are located throughout the Caribbean. It's phenomenal to host these two companies and such an honor for the Free Zone. And we want to thank them for their confidence of locating here. There have been many detractors of the industry out there, making uninformed and negative statements about working conditions. And this is why we're so fortunate to have a Prime Minister that is pro-business, pro-growth, and sees clearly the incredible value that BPO brings to the Jamaican economy. And the industry's ability to provide jobs at an unrivaled rate. And without these work opportunities, many of these people that are employed here would join a generation of lost and unemployable people. So for those of you too young to know or too old to remember, or if you're not from Montego Bay, I'd like to give you a little history. While we're sitting here now, was not long ago a pasture. And a little further in that direction, where the BNS and Fontana and the cinema are located, was a cane piece. In 2002, I was serving on the board of JAMPRO, and then the portfolio minister was Philip Paulwell, and he was bringing some BPO investors down here. I don't know if Conrad was yet at JAMPRO, but he was bringing some investors to establish a BPO operation by helicopter. And he asked me to meet him in this very spot, which was a pasture. And I got here 15 minutes before the helicopter arrived, and I couldn't believe the amount of cows in this very spot. So when the helicopter came, of course, the cows went crazy, stampeded, and the investors came off the helicopter very shocked. And unfortunately, we didn't get that investment. That same minister, in what was called youthful exuberance, promised the country 40,000 jobs within 3 years. And guess what? It's taken us 15 years, but we are on the cusp to surpass that 40,000 jobs. And in this Free Zone alone, with this building, we passed the 10,000 employment of the Free Zone alone. An incredible milestone. Our Prime Minister, who from day one has not only declared BPO as his primary growth strategy, but has walked the walk by making investments in building BPO space that ensures that we're ready for business and that the growth is real. In this industry, if you don't have space and infrastructure to offer clients, they will simply move their investment plans elsewhere. So today, to be at the same spot in this old pasture where we recently visited our Prime Minister with his shovel, breaking ground for what we now see behind us, makes this an incredible day and one we can all be proud of. This building will provide a living for over 2,000 families for years to come and provide foreign exchange earnings that we all desperately need to support the economic recovery that Jamaica was promised for so long, and we're finally seeing for the first time in most of our lives. I want to thank you, Prime Minister, and your team of hard-working ministers for your advocacy and your determination in having the free zone succeed. And of course, the PAJ staff under the leadership of Gordon Shirley and Gloria Henry, who forms part of that through the Montego Bay Free Zone, and the respective boards of directors. I see that entire row in the front there is our Free Zone Board of Directors, and we have Port Authority directors here, and former Free Zone chairman here, and my father is here, and so many others. And I have to acknowledge my wife and my mother, or else I'll be really in trouble. So protocols have been observed, and I don't want to list everybody, but there are probably several people I've missed, and the mayor. But I would like to thank you all and just say that being here today is a very, very special moment, and as I said, the great way that I'm starting my year, and I hope you feel the same way. Welcome and thank you.
Dodgen Global offers a CPA scholarship program to team members who join our team. A career in accountancy at Dodgen Global is a great choice and can offer you excellent job prospects. We believe that an accounting education is the greatest gift you can give yourself or anyone else. Few gifts make as significant an impact as the gift of an accountancy education with a job. It's a contribution that lasts a lifetime in the form of learning, opportunity, and success. Join our team and get the opportunity to be part of our CPA scholarship program. This scholarships awards program will be administered by the HR department of Dodgen Global. Requirement: first degree in accounting. Employed at Dodgen Global. Willing to pursue the CPA examination. Here's how to apply. Submit application to Staff Accountant, Dodgen Global. Email sa@dodgen.com.
It really is a pleasure for PAJ to be a partner in the development of your great city, Mr. Mayor. This is the fastest growing municipal center in Jamaica and probably in the Caribbean, actually. Aside from our investments here, which I'll speak about in a moment, I wanted to signal that we are also investors in a neighboring Freeport terminal. This is one of the, it's a significant investment for Port Authority, and because it is such a secret, allow me for just 1 second to tell you a little bit about what we have been doing over in Freeport. Over the past 2 years, we have renovated the main cruise terminal at berth 5 and 6 and constructed a new one at berth 2 to accommodate the expansion of home porting. We have also developed new ground transport management facilities over there. And as a result, Montego Bay is now the fastest growing cruise terminal in the country. We have facilitated the construction of Fortress's new LNG facility, and we have dredged the harbor to accommodate even larger cruise ships and cargo facilities. Currently, we are constructing a new cargo at berth 1, a new cargo facility at berth 1. We are expanding berth 2 to accommodate the largest cruise vessels. We are investing in new cargo handling equipment, reach stackers, terminal trucks, and so on. We are implementing a new automated terminal operating system and implementing a new port community system. Over $35 million is being spent in the neighboring facility, which is intended to transform that facility into the most dynamic and significant mixed port, mixed terminal anywhere in the Caribbean. And as important as it is for us to be developing in those facilities, a mandate of the Port Authority is to develop the near port areas in immediate proximity of our terminals with a view to creating economic growth and job creation. And the most dynamic near port facility that we have is the Montego Bay Free Port. The Board of Montego Bay Free Zone and the Board of Port Authority were early in recognizing the growth in markets such as analytics and market research, engineering design, medical transcription, health information management, financial and legal process outsourcing, publishing, and outsourcing of R&D. Our objective is to capitalize on the growth of this knowledge process outsourcing segment and to transform the zone in a manner that makes it attractive for firms to want to perform these types of services here in Jamaica and here in the Montego Bay Free Zone. This effort is already bearing success. Examples of this include the fact that Numerator, one of the clients here, is providing market intelligence and complex CRM services. Software development for desktop and mobile applications is being provided by Avonmark. Shared services in finance and accounting is being provided by Advanced Call Center Technology and Conduent. Medical transcription is being provided by Infinity Behavioral Health Services. Data analytics by Numerator. Payroll processing, corporate filings, and corporate support by Conduent. And market campaign, advertising, and promotion by Centerfield Media. The investment of approximately $10 million in this new 63,000 square foot facility, which is being opened today, is a reflection of the commitment to creating the kinds of facility suitable for accommodating the companies that wish to perform these higher value added services here in Jamaica. It is designed with the employees in mind and with all the necessary amenities and features of the best BPO centers anywhere in the globe. With this new facility, an additional 1,500 to 2,000 jobs, as Mark mentioned, will be accommodated. And the zone is now, we are proud to say that the zone is now home to 10,600 good paying jobs, impacting the lives of our young graduates and their families.
Ladies and gentlemen, a decade and a half ago, I responded to an advertisement looking for a client services manager, and I felt it was Port Authority, so I applied for that job. And I had a choice at the time, two financial institutions, but because I knew Port Authority is the place to work, and it had all that lovely reputation, so I chose to come here. And 1 week into the job, when I realized it was a free zone, I was dying. I was like, oh my God. And I remember going into my office one day and I said, Lord, it's not too late to call NCV. Please give me a direction because I don't know if I can cope with this job. And then to make it worse, I walked out of my office and there was a customer ranting and raging about a problem. And then he said to me, so how long are you planning to be here? And I was like, oh my God, so people don't stay here. So I was really worried. But then I got the divine word and I was divinely led, and here am I. And you know, we were perhaps about 20-something% occupied in our warehousing space and vacant in many of our building spaces. We use car parks to play football and volleyball and netball, and we use empty buildings to store stuff for anybody who wanted to store things because we had so many spaces. But in 5 years, we were full. We were 100% occupied. And at that time, we advanced a proposal under the chairman of Mr. Dare to put up this building. Well, 9 years later, here we are. But we are here because of the effort, the contribution, the blood, sweat, and tears, the toiling of many, many, many persons. Not just the Port Authority, but the unsung heroes who work in this industry. Those who have launched businesses here. that have gone global, those whose business have gone and listed on the stock exchange in the US, those who serve Fortune 500 and Fortune 100 customers, those whose work make Jamaica looks like the best place, and it is the best place indeed in the world. Those whose work stand out against any first world country. These are the people who work in the BPO centers. They represent diversity. So I know you hear a lot about the call center, but call center is not all that we do. Yes, that's where we started. And you don't want to shake off your history completely. You heard some of the things that Professor articulated earlier that we're doing in this business. And so today we want to invite some of our workers who have been here, who have worked in different segments of the business, to share with you in 2 minutes some of their testimonials.
I have been with Teleperformance since the inception of the company. That's 20 years ago. So yes, I have been with Teleperformance for 20 years. After graduating high school, it was clear I was unable to immediately afford college, and so I made the decision to work. I started as an agent and was promoted to a manager 3 years later. Through my hard work, high display of professionalism, and consistency with effectively managing a team, I was further promoted to an assistant call center manager. I have played multiple roles, lead roles in the organization, such as the lead engagement coordinator, guest speaker at Jump, and I'll talk briefly about what Jump is. So within Teleperformance, we have a program that we develop our agents to become leaders. So the Jump program, so we can basically promote from within. So that's like a synopsis of what the Jump program is. And a motivational speaker to the new hires. I have led multiple charges as it relates to growth and development in the organization. I have mentored several of my peers and has changed the lives of many through my testimonies. I am known to speak the hard truth. With honest persona, there's not a question with the heart for my job. I have significant strides in the career and personal development. I am now a call center manager, and with direct oversight of over 500 employees. I have a great deal for passion for excellence. I'm a mother, a wife, and currently a student at the Montego Bay Community College, where I'm pursuing my bachelor's degree in business management. The BPO has provided an avenue not only for creating jobs in the country, but it's also one of the leading income generators of the economy. My role in the BPO industry is critical to the business, as I am given the task of reviewing root causes, as well as identifying and implement various strategies to improve the program Teleperformance, as well as mitigating any loss for financials. My current roles allow me to play a vital role in managing important clients, vendor relationships, etc. I have no regrets in starting my career in the BPO sector. I say to the BPO, and especially my company, Teleperformance, thank you for my personal growth and success to date. And I leave you with my mantra: aspire to be the best on the team, aspire to be the best for the team. Thank you.
I started in the Montego Bay Free Zone at Vistaprint in 2003. So I've been here for 15 years. My career didn't start here, but I can bet you that, and I can tell you that if I have the opportunity, I would stay here. Working at the Free Zone has given me opportunities to experience first world technologies, to manage people, to interact with personalities across the globe, not only in Jamaica. And that is something that I believe every Jamaican needs to experience. I believe every Jamaican, as a matter of fact, should endeavor to be a part of the Montego Bay Free Zone and be a part of the BPO sector, because it opens opportunities, it opens our eyes. I believe that this is something that if it wasn't here, we would have been lacking in a lot of ways. So thank you very much for being here and for giving us the opportunity to have a job, to make a life for ourselves, and to be the best person that we can be.
M&A Strategy and Advisory. Are you planning for a merger or acquisition? M&A transaction. The decision to embark upon an M&A transaction is not one to be taken lightly. Whether pursuing a merger or acquisition, or considering a disposal or divestiture, the complexities of an M&A transaction require careful planning and execution. Clients can depend on our specialist teams to lead or support transactions requiring specific expertise on issues including business modeling, fast-track M&A, economic consulting, and government public sector advice. With deep experience, knowledge, and tools, Dodge & Global can meet stakeholder targets and expectations. Dodge & Global consulting teams can help you make smarter, more effective decisions. Let's have a conversation. Contact us at email info@dodgen.global. Website https://dodgen.global.
Throughout my 13 years with Teleperformance Alliance One, I have great success stories. I must say, I've started with this company as an agent. Throughout that 13 years, I've grown, moved in different areas such as a QA supervisor, assistant center manager, and currently I hold the position as a contact center manager. Thank you. I've been given various opportunities within Teleperformance. One of the greatest things for me is I have given the opportunity to help to build interaction with employees, to mold employees to be better leaders and upcoming leaders of tomorrow. Within this organization, there are great deeds towards myself in terms of building personal growth and assisting me with my family. Within my 13 years, could I ever think of where do I go from here? It's hard for me to decide. Why? Throughout this 13 years, my confidence, that self-esteem that I've built throughout the year, with support of leaders such as, of course, I will not leave out saying my direct manager, Jake Becker, and other fellow co-workers. Currently, I'm so proud wearing the latest achievement within Teleperformance is I was recently enrolled in Teleperformance University. Now, you may wonder what this is. It's the university created by the company. This exists for the past 10 years. And I'm pleased to say for 8 months ago, I was enrolled in this program. The opportunity that it allows me is I join this college, I get a chance to travel. My last travel was in Brazil. This is a big deal for me. That's 2 months ago I get to go to Brazil. I have an upcoming trip that will be in Philippines. I'm excited about that one as well. And of course, graduation in Greece. These are my dream places to visit, and so I'll say thanks to Teleperformance for that.
My name is Karine Phillips Brown. I have over 12 years of experience in the BPO industry. I started out as a hard trainee in the accounting department. With my experience gathered in this sector and through self-study, I completed my career as a chartered accountant. I am now a member of the international body of ACCA and also the local body of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Jamaica. With my qualification and experience, I am now the finance manager of a 1,900-seat, Fortune 500 BPO company. I was instrumental in starting the accounting operation here in Jamaica. This has seen, because of the success, several other accounting jobs being migrated. In the process, we are planning to expand our shared services division. Some of my tasks as an accountant include financial statement reporting, analysis, and consolidation. My plan is to continue in this sector. I am really passionate about working in the BPO industry. Thank you.
I am the Managing Director for Avantmark Technologies. We were formerly Indusa Global, and we have been in the free zone for the past 2 years, but Indusa has been around for almost 20 years. Now, we are on the ground floor of Data Building 3, right on the same building with Market Track. We have 11 employees. We have 8 programmers, 3 accounting and data entry staff that are responsible for the accounting needs of 2 of our clients. All our employees are Jamaican-born, Jamaican-educated, going to University of UTEC, University of the West Indies, and NCU. Combined, all of our employees, we have over 50 years of programming experience. Though we are a small company, we have developed software applications, both web and mobile, for the health, transport, and the tourism sector for both the US, for clients in the US as well as in the Caribbean. Currently, we're working on a logistics platform for a large freight brokerage and transportation management company in Colorado. Another project that we're currently working on is building a custom CRM system for that same logistics customer that has already improved the way this logistic client services its customers. These systems all leverage the power of cloud computing, mobile applications, and will eventually use machine learning and artificial intelligence to provide our clients with any advantage that they can in that very competitive market. What makes us different from any other software development firm? It's not that we have the best programmers. We do have some really good ones, but we can hold our own with anyone in the world. It's not that we have the best facilities. We're getting there, though. It's not that we have the best salaries. We're going to get there, though. But what we do is that we have a passion for technology. We embrace modern technology and are not afraid to implement it in solutions where we see that it provides an advantage to our clients. We're agile in our approach to work, so we can adapt quickly to changes. We believe in automation first, so we can free people to focus more on value-added tasks and building stronger customer relations for their employers. And above all, we have the best 11 people that anybody could ask for. Our small team of 11 programmers pulls together like a well-oiled machine. Finally, we don't intend to stay small forever. We may never grow to the size of some of our neighbors due to the sheer nature of our jobs, but we intend to leave a mark on this free zone where we aren't always known by the address relative to our neighbors. So for example, the door across from Unique Vacations, who have now migrated to the east side, or the building that Market Track is on. But by our work and our impact, we have on the community and Jamaica. Ladies and gentlemen, I proudly represent Avantmark Technologies. Thank you.
your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
The government of Jamaica has 4 main lines of effort that lead into one main objective. And these are the sound fiscal management and financial management of the public's affairs. The second is to create and support the conditions for private sector-led growth. The third is to create meaningful employment for all Jamaicans, but the broader picture is to ensure that all Jamaicans are involved in work. The fourth is to ensure the security and safety and peace of communities and households within Jamaica. And all of these lead into the ultimate objective of securing Jamaica's economic independence. I believe that if you assess the performance of the government on its lines of effort, you will come to the conclusion that the government can report significant success. For example, there is no question that the government has achieved major success in ensuring the fiscal certainty of our economy. The debt has been reduced from 141% of GDP to this year we will be just below 100% of GDP. And that is the ultimate index. But there are other things that we should measure fiscal performance on. And that is, for example, the government has seen significant investments taking place in the development of infrastructure. But a large part of that does not rely on the government's fiscal accounts. In other words, we have pursued the expansion of infrastructure and capital formation without having to rely on the budget of the government. Now, this is a perfect example. The PAJ, out of its own resources, that is the Port Authority of Jamaica, out of its own resources, have made this investment, and this investment will bring a financial windfall. Maybe windfall is too much, but certainly profit that you can use to reinvest. But the policy of the government is that all its public bodies must stand financially sound and fiscally certain on their own. And all the assets that they have, we must see to their full utilization. So all the warehouses that are empty, all the parking lots that are now volleyball and football fields, all the real estate that are unoccupied and unused, all the lands that are just growing wild bush, we must find appropriate and high value usage for them. And that strategy has worked. And I want to commend the Port Authority of Jamaica in being at the lead in fulfilling that strategy. in ensuring that our port facilities are being developed, in ensuring that our BPO facilities, those that exist, and the new ones that are being developed. And whilst this facility may be the most modern in the Port Authority's portfolio of BPO facilities, I happen to know that the work in Portmore, the Portmore, what is it called? In Informatics Park, the PIP, that will be an ultra-modern facility and will probably eclipse what is being done here. In as much as we are pushing forward to see the development of the infrastructure and supporting capital formation without call on the government budget. I mean, the government has to have some involvement, but where these things are commercial in nature, we believe that it should be the private sector or corporately operated public agencies that do them. But the government must also look at the landscape and look to the horizon, because I've often said that, you know, the ship of state is almost like a submarine. It's under sea. It doesn't always see the big picture or the horizon, and so it has to have a periscope that looks up above the water and can see what is to come. Governments have to analyze future risks. So we are making investments now, but one thing of which we are certain is that conditions will change. They can change for the better, or they can change for the worse. One thing we must ensure is that whatever the change that occurs, Jamaica is in a position to survive and be resilient. That is, be able to recover very quickly from adverse change or take advantage of opportunities that present themselves. And so the government must always be forward-looking. And in that forward-looking stance, the government must say, what are the risks that are on the horizon for our fiscal certainty? What are the risks that could cause the government to have to, for example, put on more taxes on people? What are the risks, for example, that could cause the government to incur more debt? And from now, try to avoid those risks. So our strategy of ensuring that the private sector, along with corporately run public agencies, take on the risks of developing infrastructure and capital formation, that strategy works for the people of Jamaica, because it ensures that at no time will there be a call on you, the public, to pay for any eventualities that may happen, and that paying for means either higher taxes or we have to cut services.
I started out selling out of the trunk of my car.
If everybody think the same way, everybody going in the same line.
Being an entrepreneur takes everything that you've got.
Weekends? What's weekends? We work on a weekend.
There are real opportunities everywhere you look. But you have to have the passion.
If I do my part well, then everything is okay.
We believed in ourselves and our families believed in us.
Being convinced of this great opportunity, why we are all here doing what we're doing now.
Takes you behind the scenes of Jamaica's exploding creative industries to give you an insider's look at how creatives get the job done.
I'm really picky about how we treat our customers.
As creative people, we went a little bit over the top.
Each week, we interview innovators leading the charge in their industry. The chaos of creativity meets the stricture of structure on Business Access TV's Cameo.
In its present state, Petrojam is a fiscal risk to the government. The truth is that after the JPS ceases to be its major customer by virtue of a decision that the government made to diversify its fuel mix to include LNG, which is a more stable fuel in terms of its commodity pricing, and probably better in the long run for Jamaica, and a more efficient fuel from an environmental perspective. We took that decision. When we took the decision, we should have also considered the other impacts of that decision, which means that Petrojam could lose or will lose 50% of its custom. That could mean, very well mean, that the operations of Petrojam could become a call on the government. And I use the term government, but I shouldn't, because in the consciousness of Jamaica, the Jamaican people see the government as separate from them, which is not the case. The government is just the accumulation of you. So if it is a call on the government's purse is a collection from your pocket. And that's what it is. It is going to be a call on your pocket. So I am not running a government that is under siege, not knowing what is coming in the future, as we have had governments do in the past. And then we happen upon situations. And those who are being critical of the government now should explain why it is we are happening up on situations that are creating fiscal risks for the government. This government is giving the people of Jamaica the commitment that we will not just manage the situations that exist now, but we are managing the situations to come. And you can be assured that the government I lead will always make decisions in the interest of the Jamaican people first. So you may be wondering, what's the connection? But I hope you see that the strategy of the government in doing all of this is about this line of effort in ensuring that Jamaica's government, meaning the collection of your pockets, is fiscally sound. On the line of effort of creating employment, that the government has done exceptionally well. 1.3 million Jamaicans are employed. That's the highest number since the recorded history of the statistic. Now, that's a commitment we made, and we intend to continue to push for greater employment, because I believe we can reach full employment, and we are not far away from it. We recognize that training and education is a constraint on our growth and employment prospects. Kind of ironic, isn't it? But it is the truth. Our education system, its output, our socialization coming from our households, are all impacting on the rate at which we increase our employment. I have here today, of course, the chairman of HEART, Mr. Edward Gabidon, and he knows that I have been breathing down the neck of HEART to put in place an effective strategy of training persons for the BPO industry. I know that they have an effort underway, and it has made an impact. But I'm always concerned when I hear of situations that a BPO enterprise opened just a few doors down, and then the BPO enterprise that was always in existence would come to work on a Monday morning, and half its staff is gone over to the next BPO. And then they are in a quandary and a scurry trying to find replacements. We hear those stories, and the government takes it seriously. We must rapidly increase our training to support the expansion of the industry. It can't be that we have investors here and we are not supplying very quickly the quality trained workers. We have to get cracking on that in a more aggressive way. And it is not that we don't have the people. You know where they are? Some of them are in lottery scamming. Some of them are in crime. And many of them are at home sitting down doing nothing. And when you go to them, well, me can't leave my baby. Or they hide. Because I've seen the reports. We have gone into communities with programs offering people to be trained, and they refuse to take it. Why? It is clear that the policy of the government can't be just employment. The policy of the government has to be to create a culture of work. So, I want to thank you, because if you let me, I'll go on and on and on. But I want to thank you for being such a good audience and for listening. And again, let me congratulate the PAJ and the team for bringing this project to fruition. I gather now you would be above 10,600 persons employed here, and that the BPO sector in terms of its employment is now in excess of 36,000 persons, in excess of 36,000. I'm certain that before the year is out, we should be close to 40, if not passing it. My view, and I continue to maintain it, is that we could have hundreds of thousands of persons employed in the BPO sector, providing we can release the constraint of the trained labor force and build out the spaces. As it has turned out, it has been easier to build out the spaces than to relieve the constraint of employment. But I give the assurance that we are working on both. God bless you all. Happy New Year. Health, prosperity, happiness, and peace.
The Good Life, your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
My name is Herbert Chung, Executive Chairman, Co-Founder, Honeybun 1982 Limited. You're watching Business Access TV. Serious about it.
This new building brings new opportunity to Montego Bay as a city of which we are in the Caribbean, and we are the fastest developing city in the Caribbean. But this new building will mean thousands of new jobs for young people, not only from St. James, but from adjoining parishes. And wherever job opportunities are created for the multiplier effect. And it is very good for Montego Bay for us to be opening this over 60,000 square foot of space here today. The Montego Bay is known as the hospitality location in the Caribbean, any other parts of Jamaica and the Caribbean. The expatriates feel very comfortable, feel very welcome, feel very accommodative when they are here to do business, right? So it is a natural fit for us here in Montego Bay to embrace our expatriates, to embrace our local investors, and to embrace our new workers that are working in this free zone area, which the last count that I had, we have probably over 12,000 persons employed in the BPO sector in Montego Bay. And just having a discussion in another 3 to 4 years, it might be up to 15,000, 16,000. So it is growing. So Montego Bay is the place for BPO. I know it is being branched out in other areas of Jamaica, which I commend that also. But Montego Bay will be the preferred destination because we are the hospitality capital of the Caribbean. We in St. James, we are ahead of the rest because the Art Trust NTA, the high schools, the secondary schools are integral. They go into the school and when they have their student awareness as it relates to job opportunities, the BPO sector plays a very, very pivotal role. And I must say to you, this is an era in which is a good start for any young person, because to leave school with 2 or 3 CXC subjects, you know that in most cases you can't go into college with that. You can't go to a university with that, but you can enter the BPO sector, earn yourself much more than what you would have been earning if you were sitting down at home, and build your capacity from there. So it is a good start for those who did not achieve the 5, 6, 7 subjects to move on to college and to move on to university. So I would encourage all young people who have acquired 1, 2, 3, 4 subjects and they want to make a start in life to start at the BPO. It is a steady and growing industry. And I know a lot of them that started, and a number of them now are in supervisory position, big supervisory position, taking home working and living salary. So, I mean, I must tell you, you can know when they just started working. You know, they don't look that bouncy, but after 3 months and the hairstyle change, the whole makeup change, the clothing change, and you know that they are making money and they are earning their way to prosperity.
As an iconic building, it demonstrates that we are committed to a world-class type of facility for the services that are offered here. We're also keen on moving upscale from just the normal call center type operations to more knowledge-based operations. And we believe that those jobs will be even more attractive to the graduates from our university system, as well as those that you asked about, which are those who want to work and study. Students in some of these areas, the areas that I've spoken about, law, finance, medicine, and so on, will want to have jobs that relate to the things that they are studying. And the opportunity then to be working here and going to the Western Jamaica campus or the other campuses in the region would be very attractive for them. The manager of the facility, Gloria Henry, is already has collaborations with the community center here. So there are a number of students who are workers here, employees here in the center, but who are pursuing degrees and other programs at the community center. So there's quite a symbiotic relationship between the university system and what we have here going here at the Montego Bay Free Zone.
BPO is excellent for Montego Bay. Gives a lot of employment, has a lot of people, and is expanding very rapidly. And it will be a big future for the town. And with the bypass road coming next year, makes a huge difference to Montego Bay.
So my name is Deborah Fraser. I'm the CEO for Caribbean HR Solutions. We are an HR outsourcing company. So we support, for the most part, business process outsourcing players who are coming into Jamaica and help them to launch and to find all of their staff, to develop their HR programs, and to keep them in compliance with Jamaican labor laws. So this new building is really very, very impressive. Jamaica has been successful at attracting the top outsourcers globally, and that's responsible for providing really great quality jobs. So companies all over the world are turning to outsourcing their core and non-core activities. And Jamaica has been very, very successful at showing the world that we have bright, talented people who can work in several types of jobs, including quality analysts, workforce managers, service and sales, IT. I mean, it's amazing. So the building really does represent a lot of hard work that's gone into building this industry. So we're happy to support it.
The opening of this new building is significant. It means growth, it means development for our country, it means providing more jobs for our people. So I think this is a great move and a move in the right direction for us here in Montego Bay and by extension Jamaica.
The building is state-of-the-art, top-notch. Professor Shirley and Gloria Henry really helped Concentrix get a smooth launch in Jamaica, which to date we've built just under 500 seats on the ground floor of this building and a rapid expansion into Kingston. So kind of without the support from them, we would not have been able to expand into Kingston as fast as possible because the facility we got was in top-notch shape. So I think it's a great step.
I do have a dream, and I know you have a dream, that we can make Jamaica the place of choice for you to choose to live, to work, to do business.
We are going for the Jamaica we want. Making steady progress to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals in our National Development Plan, Vision 2030 Jamaica. We have teamed up with valued partners, working through strong institutions to reduce inequalities in our society. We commit to being responsible in our production and consumption, ensuring we build sustainable communities in harmony with nature. Jamaica is making significant strides in providing quality, lifelong education for all, enabling our people to be engaged in decent work to drive economic growth, equipping men and women with the skills to build resilient infrastructure, promote sustainable industry, foster innovation, and utilize new technologies. Urgent action is being taken to manage natural resources responsibly, protecting clean water sources, ensuring access to water and sanitation for all, diversifying to alternative energy sources, conserving our environment and sustaining life below water and on land. Jamaica is making moves to ensure healthy lifestyles for the well-being of our people. We're promoting sustainable agriculture to achieve food security, improve nutrition, and end extreme hunger, putting in the work to end poverty in all its forms. We're on track in achieving our Sustainable Development Goals through realizing our Vision 2030 Jamaica. We will leave no one behind.
And I'm chilling right now, cause we're winning right now.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Hi,
Hi, it's Novia MacDonald White, Senior Associate Editor at the Jamaica Observer. And guess what? You are watching Business Access Television.
Hey guys, and thanks for joining me on another episode of Chill Spot. Today we'll be hanging out with Adrian Samuda. He is the CEO of the Kaluga Group, and he'll be taking us to have lunch at the CPJ Courtyard. And then afterwards, it will be on to Jam Zone for a game of bowling. So don't go anywhere. Much more Chill Spot after this.
Hi Candy, these are my friends. This is Rick.
Hi
This
Rick.
is Dwight.
Hi Dwight, nice to meet you. So talk to me now, what are we going to be doing today?
Today we're going to be having lunch. Then we go to Jam Zone. It's gonna be my first time bowling.
Well, I must say I really like the ambience here, and I'm very excited about the food as well. Have you ever eaten here?
I have.
So what's your favorite thing on the menu here?
There's a sandwich, it's a Marlin sandwich. I ate
Okay.
it last week. I'm somebody who, because I'm in the restaurant business, and I'm a
You're
restaurant
very
app,
interested in that stuff, eh?
to find out what is on different menus.
Now you're the CEO of the Kaluga Group. What exactly is the Kaluga Group?
Kaluga Group is two companies, Kaluga Cafe and Kaluga Gourmet Access. Kaluga Cafe is the first company which was formed in April 2014. It's a restaurant and a casual diner located in Old Harbour. But over the years we have identified the need for catering, which clients have always been asking us about food to be served at their home or at weddings. So the company Kaluga Gourmet Access was formed in June 2015.
Now why Old Harbour for the restaurant?
I am from Old Harbour.
That's a good reason.
Yeah, it's a good reason. And Old Harbour is the fastest growing place in the English-speaking Caribbean. So the question is, why not Old Harbour?
Right. Now, prior to opening the restaurant and launching out on your own, you were working in banking. Talk to us about the transition.
My first degree is in food and beverage management. But leaving college, you're looking at your first job.
Yeah.
So Scotiabank was actually the first answer to the wide variety of resumes that were sent out. And I developed a liking for the banking sector. I started getting promotions and going into different departments. So I spent 7 years at Scotiabank, but the passion for food and beverage was always there.
Right.
From teenage years, I always wanted to open a restaurant. And so in 2012, I started to do my survey at Old Harbour to assess if Old Harbour really needs a Kaluga Cafe. And the answer was yes from the questionnaires that were distributed.
What's behind the name Kaluga?
Kaluga is the name of the biggest freshwater fish. And Old Harbour is known for fish.
Okay.
It's a fishing village. So that's the inspiration behind the name. When I was searching for a name, I started searching for names of sea creatures.
Right.
I wanted a name that actually defines the location.
Okay.
Then the name Kaluga came up, and I was like, Kaluga. It sounds like a name that we can build a brand out of.
Right.
So a brand, you have to be catchy, it have to sound good. And we have to think 10, 20 years down the line, so it's not just about the restaurant, it's about a brand.
How has the reception been since the restaurant has been open?
It has been excellent. I'm bringing something different into Old Harbour. There's a massive migration into Old Harbour now. All of the persons who used to reside in Kingston because of more affordable housing in Old Harbour, they're moving into Old Harbour.
Right.
So those persons want a similar experience to what they're getting in Kingston. So we put a similar concept into Old Harbour that someone would have ventured out into Kingston for.
Now you've been recognized by the Observer Food Awards. Talk to us about that achievement.
We won the food awards for the Parish Gem of St. Catherine in 2015.
So there's nowhere else in St. Catherine to go but Kaluga, is that what you're saying?
There are places to go, but Kaluga is the premier spot. And in 2016,
yeah,
we were awarded again one of the most talked about restaurants in Jamaica.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, you went from having a stable income in corporate to an unstable one, so to speak, as an entrepreneur. How was that transition?
This transition was easy because it starts from the mind, and my thing was always entrepreneurship. Even while being at the bank, I was always doing something on the side.
Right.
I was always have a love for entrepreneurship. So it was just about when.
When was the right time?
When was the right time? In December 2013, after building on Kaluga Cafe, I realized that this is something that is going to be greater than what I thought. It could not be multitasking between Scotiabank and Kaluga Cafe. I had to make a decision, and my decision was my passion.
And you've never regretted it?
I've never regretted it. I never think of a plan B because I know that it must work.
Right.
And that's important.
And it has.
It has worked. It is working. So it's conditioning the mind and setting up myself mentally. You know, said it is a must. There's no failure. Success is a must.
Coming up.
The way the system is set up, you have to fail to learn.
Right.
You have to go through challenges to learn. And oftentimes, challenges cost money.
Great design is not only how things look, but also how well they work. The GLC, more than meets the eye.
Cash flow and budgeting analysis. A business can be profitable and still run into trouble due to cash flow issues. We can forecast and evaluate your company's financial condition, estimate financing requirements, and track cash flow sources and uses. For more information and to discuss your requirements with one of our experts, please contact us today. Email info@dodgen.global. Website https://dodgen.global.
So have you guys been out to Kaluga Cafe? A number of times. What's your favorite thing on the menu?
Shrimp pasta.
Shrimp pasta? What's yours?
Chicken. Chicken pasta.
Chicken pasta.
Pasta lovers.
Pasta lovers over here, man.
The guava cheesecake.
Guava cheesecakes, they have all kind of desserts out there too.
You have to give the consumers what they would have ventured to Montego Bay or Kingston for. We couldn't have gone into Old Harbour and give them
right.
the regular fried
the regular
fish
stuff.
And fried chicken.
But you
No.
mentioned the name being you know, having to do with fish. What about the seafood? You guys have seafood on the menu?
Yeah, we sell a wide variety of seafood. Your lobster, your fish, shrimps, etc.
So when don't try the lobster and the fish gone out there going to eat pasta?
I mean, you can try. I'm not a lobster, I'm not a shrimp guy, I'm a chicken guy.
You're a chicken guy. What's your secret to success so far on your journey?
I think the people factor in the business is the most important. And reading, continuous reading. And just acknowledge that there's nothing such as failure. I've learned to, if I lose money to a project, I look at it as, okay, I just finished a course.
Right.
This year I've gone through some challenges, so I look at it as I did my PhD.
Right, okay.
It would have cost more to do the PhD or so on.
Right.
You have to pay to learn. But that's my secret. Go through it and learn from all the lessons, learn from your mistakes. You know that you don't repeat it. And every challenge that you go through, you should come out stronger.
Now, what are some of the struggles that you faced or challenges that you faced as an entrepreneur?
I believe one of my greatest challenges were the opportunity to capitalize on mentorship as a young entrepreneur. So you have this dream and you have this strong vision and you go after it. But the way the system is set up, you have to fail to learn.
Right.
You have to go through challenges to learn. And oftentimes, challenges cost money.
Right.
There's nobody who shares their secret of success. All the great persons who have gone through it, you won't know how they did it.
Right.
Unless you go through it and you pay the price. I've not failed, I don't believe in failure, but it has been challenges. You have to learn from your own.
Now, what sort of impact do you hope to have in this industry?
Just as though I went into law and changed lives, made a difference, I want to be an entrepreneur that makes a difference in whatever field I enter into.
You mentioned something about mentorship. Do you have a mentor?
I don't have a mentor. I've just completed coaching from an entity. That's the closest to a mentor.
So you are going to be a mentor?
I would love to be a mentor because I realize that that's one of the greatest challenges that especially young entrepreneurs face right now. You have a dream or you have a vision, but a lot of reasons for failure because persons do not have someone to show them how to be successful and the guidance. It's not because there's not a great model. It's lack of mentorship. Nobody, the great person, not telling you how they did it.
And finally, where do you see yourself in 5 years professionally?
I am looking to go to the junior stock exchange.
Okay.
That's the plan. Go to the junior stock market. I mean, to continue to build the brand, position the brand properly, and 5 years sell shares and reap the reward.
Coming up. What advice would you give the younger you?
Be determined.
Be determined.
And persistent. Never give up. There's going to be challenges.
Yeah.
But I believe everything happens for a reason.
Right.
Business recovery and turnaround services. Dodgen Global will assist you to achieve the best possible outcomes for troubled companies, shareholders, and other stakeholders. Organizations can quickly find themselves hovering on the brink of failure. But with the right early intervention and a constructive approach, it can be possible to achieve a sustainable turnaround. We have the expertise to unveil the cause of problems and find solutions. Our team works cooperatively with management and stakeholders to make assessments about ongoing cash flow and working capital needs. We also assist you with new business strategies, divesting non-core business and assets, and the design of new capital structures. Dodgen Global can help you make smarter, more effective decisions. Let's have a conversation. Contact us at email info@dodgen.global. Website https://dodgen.global.
So are you ready to lose?
Yeah, see if you can beat me.
No, I know I can beat you. Now, how do you guys know each other?
Well, I met Dwight about 2 years ago. 2 years ago, Dwight. Dwight was one of the judges for the Ozera Food Awards.
Okay.
So, I mean, we have similar mindsets, so we're connected from that. But Rick now, Rick is from media ground, from parents.
Parents grew up together and we grew up together.
Parents and parents are friends, and then we come return friends.
So you guys went to the same schools and everything?
Not primary school, high school.
High school? Which high school was that?
Glenmere High.
Okay, now do you have any brothers and sisters?
I have 3 sisters, 1 brother.
Tell me about your childhood. Where did you grow up? What was it like?
Well, I grew up in Oldawa, a district called Davis. My childhood was good. I never knew about poverty, nor any stress. In my eyes, we had everything. So while parents worked hard, but they provided for us. We had a good childhood.
And what about an immediate family of your own? Do you have any children?
I have 1 daughter.
1 daughter? How old is she?
She's 3 years old.
My goddaughter.
That's your goddaughter?
Well, the goddaughter that him not visit.
Call him out, yes, call him out. What would you say is the most memorable childhood memory?
When I actually passed English language.
You didn't expect to?
That I didn't expect it, but it was one of my weakest area. English language was what was preventing me from starting university. When I got the results, and I realized when I looked on the slip and it was amazing. I felt a great feeling because knowing the struggle that I'm going through, to pass this 1 subject for me to go to college. But my house from the gate is about less than quarter mile, and I started to call my mom from out there. Mommy, 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 me pass. And when I finally reached her, you could see the joy in her face. So that was it. Yeah, man. Every time I remember anything, that was the moment.
Now, what else do you guys like to do for fun?
I'm a park person, so when he has sipping, I'll go down there and chill and like by the restaurant in general.
And you and Dwight like to what? Read books together?
We talk about business a lot. How we're going to take over the world, right, Dwight?
If I want to talk about business, the first person literally that comes to my mind
is Adrian.
Adrian's a very reliable person. I don't have to tiptoe around any particular subject matter. I can start him because he's non-judgmental and he's consistent. And what I love most about him is that philosophically, we don't talk about people. So what I love about him is that he has a very pure spirit about people. He's a very, very good friend to us.
And would you agree with what he has said?
I do. Adrian, as you said, we've grown up over the years. He's, considered to be my best friend. Somebody else kind of get close as well, but we're still virgin, you know?
I
kind of have a choice now who's to be the best man.
He's a professor. He's a professor.
Clearly.
But he has his head on his body. As I said, well-driven and goal-orientated. He's someone I can depend on, as Dwight said, and in circumstances as well, I've had situations where I have to call upon Adrian and say, X, and it's there, And I think he looks at me the same way as well as I wouldn't be the godfather of his daughter, although that's another different story. Me and Adrian's friendship, unlike Dwight, where they might communicate often, is one where we don't have to talk to know that
the relationship stays the same.
Right.
Well, I hope your head not swelling too much, because that was a lot of good things. You've left a very good impression on the people that you've touched in your life.
Thanks to Business Access TV.
What advice would you give the younger you?
Be determined and persistent. Never give up. There's going to be challenges. But I believe everything happened for a reason. I've gone through a lot, but in the end you realize that, this is the reason why that happened. So determination is key.
All right, well, I think the last thing left for us to do now is bowl. Let us go. And that brings us to the end of another exciting episode of Chill Spot, where we hung out with Adrian Samuda, CEO of the Kaluga Group. He took us to lunch at CPJ's Courtyard, and then it was on to Jam Zone for a game of bowling, which I won, might I just point out. But until next time, I'm Candy for Chill Spot. Bye! Tune in this Friday for Chill Spot, where... So it's a good take, you know, it's a good take. Do you have any children?
I have one daughter.
One daughter? How old is she?
She's 3 years old.
My goddaughter.
That's your goddaughter?
Well, the goddaughter that him not visit.
Call him out, yes, call him out. Shoes are big. It's going to make me lose. A fair space.
It's arguably the most significant invention to come out of Jamaica in the last 2 decades. A medical doctor, a mechanical engineer, and a computer scientist used technology to develop a way to train heart surgeons across the globe more efficiently. The heart simulator developed at the UWMONA is now being used by several universities across the world to train surgeons. Professor Daniel Kaur, who worked on the project, says after shelving the first prototype and moving on to other projects, he and the other inventors involved received a call that would change everything.
So in late 2007, we hear from Dr. Richard Fines, who was at the time chairman of the American Board of Thoracic Surgery. He had seen a video that had been released along with a paper that we had published. And in the video, we were just showing a small clip of what the heart looked like while, in operation, in use. And he wrote to Dr. Ramphal, basically did a little internet search, tried to find him, sort of located an email address for him at UWI, by which time he had already left UWI, and wrote him and said, I saw this video, is it real? Because if that's real, I would love to come to UWI to see it, and would you be willing to set it up for us, because we are examining possible simulation environment scenarios for the cardiac surgery training, and this is something that we would like to sort of take a look at just to see what it can do and whether it's good for us.
After some persuasion, the team decided to go to the University of North Carolina to set up the prototype.
First time set up, right? So all these prominent heart surgeons had just come in to take a look at what's going on, and everybody was kind of blown away at just how realistic the heart beating was, and how realistic the whole environment was. So they took out the video footage and took that to their annual meeting that year at the Society of Thoracic Surgeons. And with that video at that meeting, just sort of, caught the eye of everybody who was at that symposium that year. And that ended up getting us invited to technology symposium for cardiothoracic surgery. And we got re-invited year after year.
Soon after that, the UWMONA developed heart simulator was a sought-after tool when it came to training heart surgeons.
It then got to a point where other places wanted one. They kept saying, how can we get one of these at our institution? So it was kind of around that time, that was started around 2009, that we started talking about how to get multiple ones of these. And by around 2011, we'd actually built them. So in that interim, We had negotiations, sort of thought about how to sort of make it a little more structured and sort of help ourselves get to the point where we could be talking to people who might want a license.
The simulator then ended up in some of the top medical schools in North America, revolutionizing the way heart surgeons were being trained.
Harvard's Mass General Hospital, University of Rochester, there was a University of North Carolina, Johns Hopkins, Vanderbilt, Mayo Clinic, University of Washington, and Stanford.
This was the first time ever heart surgeons in training were being exposed to real-life circumstances.
Kind of what I mentioned before, where you might have the pig's heart in a bowl, or I suppose if you're working with a cadaver, which is going to be realistic, but it's a dead person, but nothing where the heart is, or actually a live pig. That is the closest that you could come if you wanted to get a full-blown operating room scenario where you are standing around, there's a apparently living, beating heart, and you have to give the right instructions, and you have somebody controlling a pump, somebody controlling anesthesia, you know, and then you have your partner in front of you, you're supposed to be giving the right instructions, and you're learning not just the specific procedures, but also the management of your team. The only way you could really reconstruct that without having a real patient on the table was a live pig. That was the closest you could come. So what our simulator was providing these guys with was a context in which they could reconstruct any scenario they wanted, when they wanted, at the time they wanted. So from the purpose of teaching, if today's lesson was to teach you something that hardly ever happens, they could make sure it's scheduled what's going to happen because you set the simulator up to deliver that. So for them, that was a great opportunity to change how training in cardiac surgery could work, right? And at the same time, you're getting this high fidelity model, right? So you're not putting any patients at risk. You have this model that looks real. It bleeds when you cut it. It has a pressure. It shows you a computer trace that looks like it's a real trace on a monitor. So for all intents and purposes, just because you set it up, you know it's not real. But for all intents and purposes, it looks like a patient on the table.
The heart simulator has not only used technology to totally revolutionize the way heart surgeons are trained, but it is also helping to better equip surgeons to deal with real-life situations in real time.
There are some well-rehearsed procedures, as in over time, they've developed some procedures to respond to a particular kind of emergency. But if you as a resident only get trained via the operating room, then the only scenarios that you become familiar with are the ones that you see. Now, of course, if you see 100 cases, 200 cases, then they start thinking, okay, you're ready, you're competent, you can go, and you are now going to be certified as capable of practice on your own. But what if the scenario that we're worried about isn't one that occurs so frequently? It might be 1 in 1,000 cases, it might be 1 in 2,000 cases. Those are still potentially life-threatening. You still want somebody who's gonna now become an attending to know how to deal with them. And in the old situation, before our simulator, the only way they would have really gotten that exposure is through a textbook or somebody telling them, you know, if you ever encounter this, this is what you're supposed to do. So it's kind of a hypothetical, and the response is really a kind of theoretical response, or at least a hypothetical one anyway. With a scenario, with a simulator, we can now say, okay, next week's lesson is going to be how you deal with this. And I can tell you what you must do, and I can set up the simulator to make that emergency occur. So while you're doing your thing, you know, suddenly something happens and you say, what's going on? And it's for you to A, recognize that is that emergency going on, and then B, act appropriately. So you can actually now practice that, which is not something that you could have done easier before.
The heart simulator is the first UE patent to be commercialized, and with the recent commitment from Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark to pump more government resources into research and development, it is hoped that more patented inventions coming out of the University of the West Indies can be commercialized.
Cameo takes you behind the scenes of Jamaica's exploding creative industries to give you an insider's look at how creatives get the job done.
I'm really picky about how we treat our customers.
As creative people, we went a little bit over the top.
Each week, we interview innovators leading the charge in their industry. The chaos of creativity meets the stricture of structure on Business Access TV's Cameo.
My name is Levon Flynn, and you're watching Business Access TV. Serious about business.
Every parent wants healthy children and nutritious meals, and yet a lot find it hard to succeed in helping their kids to develop good eating habits from early. This week on The Good Life, we talk to health coach Rachel Christian, who uses her expertise in health coaching to help her kids make better decisions. Take a look.
I'm Rachel Christian. I'm a health coach, and basically what a health coach is somebody who guides a person along their journey towards better health, helping them to make the correct choices and develop sustainable habits which will keep them along their healthy lifestyle path. I was facing some issues myself, and I attributed them all to weight loss and not being able to sustain weight loss for any period of time. And so I started with that goal in mind. And then while I was on my journey, I realized that all of my efforts would be counterproductive goal-wise if I didn't get my other foods, my primary foods in check. When we think about health, we often think of just, food and exercise. So there are two foods that which we nourish ourselves with. There's our secondary food, which everybody knows about. It's our nutrition, what we put in our mouth. But we also have a set of primary foods, which are very critical to optimizing health, but they're often overlooked. And our primary foods are our spirituality. If you don't have a core or a center from which you are able to deal with the many things that come at you on a regular basis throughout the day, then that can create stress, which can also lead to an unhealthy life. There's your career, how you're spending your day, 8 hours of your day. If you're spending that in a toxic space or a toxic energy, then that can be debilitating. And then there's also relationships, the kind of relationships you have with yourself and the relationships you have with other people, you know. What are you telling yourself about yourself? That can also lead to unhealthy life. And so once I started to focus on those things and keep them in check, it became much easier for me to control how I exercise and also to control how I eat. I lost the weight and I became healthy. But then in that I realized health is about so much more than weight loss, you know, it's about the life that you gain. And once I was eating better foods and exercising and paying attention to my primary foods, my life just opened up in so many different ways. I was able to achieve so many more of the goals that I set for myself. My whole outlook, my whole passion, my energy, my drive, my clarity, all of those things just improved. It's something that I don't think people realize is possible, and even if they know it's possible, they don't think it's achievable, and I just want to help them realize that it's so achievable and so possible. As I was reading an article the other day about the obesity and overweight rate in Jamaica right now, the Ministry of Health just released a study which shows that obesity and overweight has doubled in about the past 7 years, which is kind of scary because that opens children up to type 2 diabetes and other non-communicable diseases at an early age. You have to remember that our secondary foods, food that we eat, is absorbed at a very cellular level when we take it in. And so it shapes our organs, our cells. It also impacts the way that the chemicals and hormones interact in our brain, and so it affects our mood, the way we act, the way we behave, the way we think. Nutrition for children is extremely important because I spoke to the fact that type 2 diabetes is real, overweight, obesity, and non-communicable diseases. But also in terms of their passion and their clarity and their drive and their goal achievement. It's very, very important. We can do small things to influence their behavior from a young age so that when they get big like me, they don't have to struggle, for so long, or it don't have to be such a hard fight to get their health on track the way I struggled before to get mine on track. If they introduce small habits from a young age, then when they grow up, they'll hold on to these habits and it will become easier for them to, make health a priority. We are influencers of our children's behavior. We determine how they behave, we determine how they diet, how they see food. It's very unfortunate that sweet, sugary, processed snacks are the cheaper way to go. They're the cheaper alternative. But you can do little things, like you can shop instead of buying your food produce at the supermarket, go to the market, go to a farmer's market and buy it. It works out to be cheaper. There are also small things you can do. We say start as early as infancy with breastfeeding. Breastfeeding is very, very important. One of the things that's interesting to point out is that formulas, when you're feeding a baby out of a bottle, they don't usually stop when they're full. They stop when you finish feeding them the bottle, when the bottle is finished. And so breastfeeding gives the child a chance to stop. So they're able to control then their intake, and that's something that follows them through life as they get older. I don't give my children rice every day. I give them ground provisions most of the time. I swap out white rice for brown rice where I can. I always ensure that they have a piece of fruit with their breakfast. I don't at all let soda into my house. Soda is not allowed into my house. They have it from time to time when they're on the road, rarely, but it's not allowed in my house. My children drink water, and if they're going to drink juice, then they drink freshly squeezed juice. Because when you look at these packaged juice and the soda, 20-ounce can of soda has 16 teaspoons of sugar, and that's per serving. If they get sugary drinks, I mix it, I dilute it with water to kind of cut down their sugar intake. I tend to stay away from sweet fruits for my kids. I give them, but I give them in moderation, and I give them more of the fruits that don't have in so much sugar, like watermelon, cantaloupe. I give them a lot of berries. I give them Ethiopian apple is another favorite of mine. So not so much the grape and the pineapple. You have to be careful with the servings of those because they have a lot of sugar, and although it's good sugar, it still metabolizes our sugar. So I also introduced a thing in my house, meatless Mondays. They have Taco Tuesdays too. For one day out of the week, we don't cook meat. I recently moved it to 3 days now, so we have 3 meatless days. But I give them, they have chickpeas instead. They have beans, a bean salad. They didn't draw to these things. Remember that these things didn't come to them naturally, right? Especially my older two who came in to my lifestyle a little later than my youngest one. So it took coaching, I had to sit at the table with them, they had to see me eating it. But that coaching didn't last a long time. I mean, they get used to it sooner than you think. And in our head, we tend to think it's like so much work and it's going to take so much out of me. Believe me, it doesn't. So I come up with these little themes because if you make it fun for them, they'll become more involved. And they get involved. And another way too is that I get them involved in making my green juices. They help me to make my smoothies. They help bake cookies with me. When children feel like they're a part of something, they're more eager to try it after. So that really works for me. I ensure that they are not sitting down in front of the TV 24/7. So that whole sedentary lifestyle with the whole iPad and sitting down in front of the TV, no, not all day. Get up, go outside and play. Sign them up for extracurriculars. Make sure they see you working out and make sure they see you eating healthy. That's a big part of it. We don't realize children at this age are very pliable. We can mold them. It might look like, oh Lord, I'm not gonna eat this, I'm not gonna eat that. Over a period of time, you keep being consistent in giving them, sitting down with them, let them see you eating it. eating your vegetables, eating your fruits, and they'll come into it. I mean, it's easier, and it's much easier when you start them from a very young age. Like case in point, my children, I have 3 children. And so my journey started roundabout when my last child was a baby. And so he was introduced to green juice, noni tuna, aloe, smoothies at a very young age. So my children now, the bigger ones, they'll have it. But it's more like I have to really encourage it with them. With Jacob, the youngest, it's seamless. I mean, he goes for that.
Have grown from 20 million US to now having 800 million US dollars.
Knowledge, skill, and professionalism. Those are my tools and my armor.
It's a big men don't cry, right? It's a big men don't cry, right?
We were being robbed some $531,000.
I've been angry to the point where I feel like I would get a bit.
This week on Home Sweet Home, we go around Jamaica to visit a few of our most historical homes, each with their own little story. Our first stop, let's find out.
Hi, this is Angeli Martin Spencer, Principal and Interior Decorator of Ash, Angeli Spencer Home, and you're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
Welcome back to The Good Life. We are still here with Rachel Christian, who is giving us some tips to promote healthy eating habits for kids.
There's so many dietary theories out there, and if you follow all of them, you'll really go crazy. I mean, a lot of them have pros, a lot of them have cons. I mean, I don't bother myself too much with that because then it gets overwhelming. And so I consider myself to be a everything on. So some days I'm a vegetarian and I don't eat meat. Some days I'm a vegan, I don't eat dairy products or meat. Or anything with a face. Some days I'm Atkins, where I don't eat any carbs. I just mix everything up. I try not to box myself in because then things will get overwhelming and the chances of me sticking to the journey become less. Well, this is what I say. I mean, the more work you put into something is the better it will become. It sounds like a lot initially to make all these changes, but start with one change at a time. Start with cutting out the soda in the house and the juices. Start with that. Start with keeping them on only water. Over time, it becomes seamless. It becomes seamless. Okay, so now that I've talked to you guys about how you can improve nutrition in your household and with your kids, I'm going to show you how I improve nutrition with my kids. All right, guys, so what are we making?
We're making cookies.
Woohoo! Okay, so what's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to smash up the bananas for mommy?
You're going to peel the banana.
Okay.
And you're going to smash it.
You like banana?
Yeah.
So we're using bananas. They're nutritional, and kids like them in the treat because they're sweet. So
if there's any fruit I would actually love to eat, it's bananas.
All right, so now that those are squashed, we're just gonna throw everything else in there. So we have some flax, we have some walnuts, we have raisins, we have oatmeal, we have unsweetened coconut flakes, honey, cinnamon, and baking powder. Always try to use coconut oil instead of vegetable
Can I
oil.
pour the honey in, Mommy?
Yes.
Tell me when to stop.
Squeeze, squeeze.
Can I help him?
All right. Okay, okay. Oh!
A lot of honey.
And then you're going to mix this up. So it's kind of just mixing all the stuff around there. Make sure you get all the bananas at the bottom.
Mommy, keep mixing.
Can you stop licking out my bowl? Hey! Spray our baking sheet. Kind of just get some of the mixture.
Can I try that? No, but we're part of this too. People on TV.
See how involved they are? Make it like a cookie. All right. Awesome, wow. We just put it in the oven for 350 degrees for about 15-20 minutes. Is it good?
Yeah.
You like it? Good. All right, so we're going to be making a parfait, and a parfait is basically fruit with yogurt layered, and this is a good snack for kids. My kids love it, and I'm gonna show you how to make it.
Especially Jacob.
Yeah, especially Jacob. He comes running into the kitchen like, can I have some parfait? Can I have some parfait? I use Greek Oikos yogurt, non-fat plain. I use fruits. I use honey to give it a little sweetening. And I also put chia seeds in there, which is full of fiber and good for digestive health.
What's digestive health?
It makes your belly turn better and makes you absorb all the nutrients in your food better.
Okay.
Okay? All right, so the first thing we do is to get a layer of yogurt in there. I usually make these the night before to give the chia seeds a chance to swell.
Mommy, can I lick off my spoon?
Yes, but you can't put it back into the yogurt.
Okay.
And so I pour a little of these.
Are we gonna have any more spoon activities?
Yeah, wait, soon.
Okay, I'm not looking. Can't I just wash?
Kind of mix it up in here. Put the fruits in now. You have to stir them up in there.
Thanks for the chia seeds. Okay, let's go.
And now put another layer of fruit. And then you're finished.
Oh, I love papaya so much. I love strawberries. I'm taking all of the strawberries.
This is what it looks like when it's finished. It's really good.
So good.
Dodge & Global Marketing Strategy Consulting. Marketing isn't a department, it's a system. Having an integrated and cohesive marketing plan allows each marketing technique to support the others, thereby creating a synergy of branding and growth for your business. Dodge & Global can assist you in making smart decisions with lasting value in regard to the following key decisions. Determine if there is a paying market for your products and services. Craft long-term and short-term marketing goals. Define marketing campaigns. Create marketing strategies. Select powerful marketing techniques to reach your audience. Choose a brand and image that reflects your core message. Design marketing materials. Design internet marketing strategies. Track marketing results to determine the strongest techniques. Because it's so important to create an integrated marketing strategy that will bring in business. Get advice and mentoring from people who are already successful marketing experts. Our team can help you make smarter, more effective decisions. Let's have a conversation. Contact us at email info@dodgen.global Website https://dodgen.global.
Sundays at 4:30 p.m. It's all about Home Sweet Home. Get your half-hour dose of the business of real estate, from laws and concepts to reality, building, buying, or renting. Or what about trends in decor or renovations? Home Sweet Home will keep you up to date.
Welcome back to The Good Life. We are still here with Rachel Christian, who is giving us some tips to promote healthy eating habits for kids. If you are just joining us, you would have missed a very fun cooking show with Rachel and the kids, but we saved some for this segment.
I remember earlier I spoke about meatless Mondays. So one of the meatless Mondays, 3 days a week. So one of the meatless days in my house, one of the favorites is this lasagna. But instead of using meat, I use callaloo. And my kids love it. Right, Leo? You love it. Some kids have allergies and asthma, and dairy isn't good for asthma. And so if that's a problem that your child has, I wouldn't recommend using a lot of cheese in your lasagna. You could probably sprinkle a bit on top, just to give it, a little taste, but don't use the cheese when you're layering. So I'm gonna show you the reaction to it. I'm gonna cut a piece, put it in this plate, and then I'm gonna call Gabby to come and have some. Another Meatless Mondays dish that I do is roti and just curried chickpeas and potatoes. That's a really good one as well. It's kind of falling apart. So I'm just gonna give her a little taste of it. And how I make this is to layer it. I use callaloo, I use tomato sauce, I use tomatoes, I use cheese, and I use lasagna shells. Gabby, you shall taste this. What is this?
This is lasagna with some callaloo and tomato and vegetables.
And cheese. Blow, blow, blow. All right, wait, okay. After all this work, I'm having my lasagna. Oh, very good.
I'm Gabrielle Christian and I'm 10 years old. And I think it's important that people eat nutritiously, because if you don't eat that nutritiously, then you'll get sick. But if you eat nutritiously, you'll stay healthy and you'll live for a long time. And I'm sure everybody wants to live for a long time. I like to eat chickpeas with curry chicken or roti, and it tastes really good. To me, it tastes good, and I really like it. I help her sometimes, and I help do a lot of things with her, and that also helps her to speed up her process, and it's fun making stuff with her.
First of all, my name is Adam. Second of all, I'm 7 years old, and I think people need to be healthy so they can learn lots of stuff in school and they can grow up just to be so smart and own a big company. I want to be either a chef or a pizza delivery man. I like cake, I like steak, I like dumpling, and I especially like grapes and apples. My favorite vegetable is tomato. I like tomato because it's very sweet, and whenever you eat spicy stuff, it calms your mouth down, so you don't need water. Kids, eat your vegetables so you can get strong like me and work those muscles.
My name is Jacob and I'm 6. I have a problem eating veggies, but I eat them because they're good for you. Because it's nutritious and it gives you a lot of energy, and I need energy to play and learn. This is advice. Eat your vegetables and you will
grow strong like Hulk. Eating healthy is for girls too, not just for boys. My favorite fruit is grapes because they're the fruit what tastes good actually. Bye, I need to get back to my game.
That was easy.
And that's it for The Good Life this week on Nutrition for Kids with health coach Rachel Christian. But before we go, take a look at a recap of some of the tips that Rachel gave.
I do have a dream, and I know you have a dream, that we can make Jamaica the place of choice for you to choose to live, to work, to do business.
We are going for the Jamaica we want. Making steady progress to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals in our National Development Plan, Vision 2030 Jamaica. We have teamed up with valued partners, working through strong institutions to reduce inequalities in our society. We commit to being responsible in our production and consumption, ensuring we build sustainable communities in harmony with nature. Jamaica is making significant strides in providing quality, lifelong education for all, enabling our people to be engaged in decent work to drive economic growth, equipping men and women with the skills to build resilient infrastructure, promote sustainable industry, foster innovation, and utilize new technologies. Urgent action is being taken to manage natural resources responsibly, protecting clean water sources, water and sanitation for all, diversifying to alternative energy sources, conserving our environment and sustaining life below water and on land. Jamaica is making moves to ensure healthy lifestyles for the well-being of our people. We're promoting sustainable agriculture to achieve food security, improve nutrition, and end extreme hunger, putting in the work to end poverty in all its forms. We're on track in achieving our Sustainable Development Goals through realizing our Vision 2030 Jamaica. We will leave no one behind.
And I'm chilling right now because we're winning right now.
Cameo takes you behind the scenes of Jamaica's exploding creative industries to give you an insider's look at how creatives get the job done.
I'm really picky about how we treat our customers.
As creative people, we went a little bit over the top.
Each week, we interview innovators leading the charge in their industry.
The chaos of creativity meets the stricture of structure on Business Access TV.